What's up, guys? Rhett Tollison, KST Kustoms. I've got a new product here we're going to go over, show you how to put it on your bike, just talk about it a little bit. This is going to be our Maverick crash bar. You'll notice that it's just raw, no finish right now. This is how new this product is. We got the first batch of 35 of them done right before we shut down for Christmas. And just wanted to get this video done so that we can get them ready to sell, and so that you guys know what to do with them when you get them in your hands. So just real quick, we'll as far as fitment goes, they will fit street glides 08 to 22, road glides 08 to 22, and road kings 08 to 22. There should be no problems with them fitting the 23 models as well. We'll keep you guys in the loop on that as the new year models roll out. But we'll go over, how to get them on your bike, the bolts, hardware, tools that you'll need, and we'll go from there. All right, so you'll notice this bike here. This is a 18 model Road Glide. It's got the new fancy chin spoiler fairing on it. I call it a CVO spoiler or a CVO fairing. I really don't know the proper name for it, but our crash bar, Maverick crash bar, it will fit with it. It's a lower profile crash bar, just like this stock one here is. So you will be able, if you have this piece here, you will be able to use this crash bar with that. If you have lowers, it will not fit. I don't know of any aftermarket crash bar that will fit with lowers, but it's just a few simple bolts to remove. We'll show you how to get this on there pretty easily without fighting it, and go on to the next step. All right, so you've got these lower bolts that hold the lower brackets on. These are Torx 45. This is all if you have a stock crash bar on the bike. If you don't, we will include the necessary bolts and hardware. But for the stock, it's a Torx 25. Bad spot. Stock's a Torx 25. Let's put that somewhere where you won't lose it. All right, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Put your bolt somewhere safe. All right, we'll move around to the front. All right, moving to the front here. If you've got this stock low profile crash bar on, it's got some little, they're almost like metal straps that kind of secure it to this spoiler fairing. Those are Torx 25s. We're just going to remove them all together. And you will not use these on your Maverick crash bar. Ours will fit a little snugger to the spoiler fairing, so they won't be necessary. There's another one on the other side as well. Same thing. All right, one thing I failed to mention, we always do a really good job of covering our tins and our fenders and any kind of parts with our paint and stuff on it. This front fender can easily be removed. You've just got two quarter inch hex drive bolts on each side. You can completely take the fender off. You can put a cover on it. Just be mindful though, you don't want to drop a tool on it or scratch it up as you're removing the crash bar and putting the new one on. So just whatever makes you comfortable, just to make sure that's protected. All right, so your two bolts here in the middle hold this center bracket on. These are going to be 3/16 hex drive. I don't like to remove them all the way. you can, but just back them out, you know, enough, maybe an inch, inch and a half, so that it'll just take the pressure off, and I'll show you why on the next step. All right, so you can see, if you just back them out, you know, an inch, inch and a half, the whole crash bar won't just come falling off. You know, if you do take them all the way out, it's not a big deal, but I like to just back them out, and then from here, you can just pick the crash bar up and remove it from the bike. All right, so now we're ready to put our Maverick crash bar on. Just basically gonna do the reverse process. Slide it through here, just make sure you don't ding anything up. This is the other reason I like to just leave those bolts in. We're just gonna let crash bar just rest on them. And then we're going to get the lower bolts, you know, seated in the hole, not gonna tighten them all the way down. And then we'll come back to the front here and tighten up the middle bolts. Once again, these little metal bands that were holding it firmly to the spoiler fairing, we're not going to use those. This crash bar is 1.5 inch tubing, so it's much bigger than your stock one, which is 1.25 inches. We are working on trying to find somebody that has 1.5 inch diameter foot peg mounts. I know a lot of you guys like to run the foot pegs on your crash bar. So we're trying to find a source that sells those, so that you can swap them over and still have them on this. So we've got it mounted here in the center. We're going to go to the side bolts, get them snugged up, and then we'll come back to the front. All right, so we're just going to find our hole here, get it started. Leave it a little loose. We'll go to the other side, do the same thing. All right, same thing on the other side. Get it started, snug it up, and we'll go to the middle bracket. All right, so now we're just gonna push our whole crash bar up. We're gonna lock these middle bolts down all the way. It'll pull everything to the frame. All right, now we can go back to our lower bolts and tighten them up all the way. Torx 45. Same thing on the other side. All right, Torx 45. So that pretty much completes the mounting of your Maverick crash bar. You know, it's pretty cut and dry. It's just 4 bolts. One thing I do want to point out, if you have a full-size crash bar already on your bike, this would be considered a low-profile one. But if you have the full-size one on, you'll notice that coming from behind the main fairing here, you'll have brackets on each side that come down and mount to that full-size crash bar. You will have to remove those and use what's called a crash bar eliminator to keep your fairing held up in place. We've got a separate product for this. It's real simple. I will have a tutorial video on how to install it as well coming soon. But basically, it's all on the inside of the fairing, so all this is hidden. you will be able to see our nice KST logo that's cut into the bracket, but it'll basically mount behind the outer shell of the fairing, right here where these blinkers are. It'll mount there with this tab, and then this tab here will actually mount to where your bolts that hold the gas tank to the frame. And all that's going to do is just give your fairing support and keep it held up so that as you're going down the road, you don't have a lot of vibration. If your bike already has the low profile crash bar on it like this one did, it comes stock with a very similar product. Harley's designed it a little different. It's actually a tube with a bracket in the middle that mounts to the A-frame, and it's got the same type mount here that mounts behind the blinker inside the fairing. So I'll have a video explaining that. It requires taking the outer shell of the fairing off, but it's very doable. You know, it's nothing impossible. It's just removing some bolts, putting everything back together. So that pretty much wraps up our install for the Maverick crash bar. Obviously, it will come finished in high gloss black. We're working on trying to figure out a way to either polish it like we do our polished stainless handlebars, or have it chrome plated with the polishing methods we have in place right now. It's not an easy part to polish, but we will continue to try to develop that so that you guys, you know, that are chrome lovers, you'll be able to rock this as well. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to shoot us an email, give us a call, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, drop us a comment. But other than that, hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you next time.